And right now on the Elliott's Barbecue guest line, we're going to welcome on Jason Whitlock, an excellent writer from FoxSports.com and the Kansas City Star. And there's been a lot of controversy going on with the Jesse Jackson comments and the backlash of the LeBron James decision and Dan Gilbert's comments as well, the owner of the Cleveland Cavs. And Jason's on with us right now. Jason, good morning. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on. And I guess my question for you is, you've taken an interesting stance in all of this, and I guess how has the response been from your readers and even your friends that maybe even they may be African Americans as well?
Oh, I think response from readers has been great and overwhelming in terms of my peers in the media. I don't think any of them are surprised by my take or have a problem with my take. They may disagree with it, but I think it's pretty consistent with my take on issues of this kind. I think what Dan Gilbert said was 100% accurate, which should be a defense against racism, libel, whatever. What Dan Gilbert said about LeBron is no different than what newspaper columnists and radio talk show hosts and TV broadcasters were saying around the country. Now, given his position as owner of the Cavaliers, it's probably inappropriate. It was certainly emotional and a childish scorn lover response, but it certainly wasn't racist.
Well, now, and Jesse Jackson has come out and made this a race issue. When you first read Jesse Jackson's comments, what was your initial response?
I got a great column.
And it was. I got to tell you, it was a great column.
I was like, oh, wow. This guy just threw me a fastball down the middle of the plate. I just, what he said was stupid and not surprising. And so it didn't surprise me. But I'll say this. Sometimes I think Jesse doesn't speak for anybody. In this case, I think he spoke for a lot of black people who actually believe that, because I was getting hit with emails and comments over the weekend expressing exactly what Jesse was saying, and I was calling BS on it then. Didn't think that, didn't anticipate anyone of any prominence giving that feeling any voice nationally, but, doesn't surprise me that Jesse did. LeBron, prominent celebrity black athlete, and being criticized in my mind appropriately, and it doesn't surprise me that someone would run in and wave the race card as a defense of LeBron. It's a distraction. It's not the right thing to do. LeBron James, I think, overall is a good kid. He's made a mistake, needs to be spanked for it, and then move on. We don't need to pretend like he didn't make a mistake. That's not good for LeBron. It's why these celebrities go off the deep end. No one ever says, hey, no, you've done something wrong here. Everyone just wants to make sure they get invited to the next party or whatever money they might be getting from the guy. There's nothing wrong with a young person, a 25-year-old, making a mistake, and there's nothing wrong with adults, mature people calling them out for that mistake. There is something wrong when adults, Jesse Jackson, others, come in and defend that mistake by throwing up this distraction and calling other people racist when they've done nothing racist at all. Again, what Dan Gilbert did, immature, emotional, scorn lover, racist, well.
We're talking with Jason Whitlock, writer for FoxSports.com, and his most recent article, he takes the stance sort of against the comments of Jesse Jackson. And Jason, I got to ask you, it always seems like whenever you write a column, you really believe in what you're saying, you follow your convictions, but do you feel the pressure sometimes to side with maybe the African Americans when a race card does get played?
No, I feel pressure to say what I really think, and so trust me, if you follow my columns closely, about half the time white people are very upset with him and think that, hey, he's racist and hates black people, and then the other half the time black people think I'm a sellout and whatever. I feel pressure all the time to say what I really think. And some people, I think, in the media are more interested in making sure that when they see an athlete or they see a coach or an executive, that coach or executive is happy to see them and is going to make sure they're invited to the right parties. I'm literally most concerned with people like yourself, readers of my column, that they respect, whether they agree or not, that they respect that my opinion is coming from an honest place, and I'm saying what I really think. And, that's the mentality I came into this profession with, and it's the mentality I hope I leave the profession with.
Definitely, and I don't always agree with you, but I definitely always enjoy it and respect what you have to say, no question about it. And another guy that I respect and watch every day, Mike Wilbon. Yesterday, he really sided with Jesse Jackson, and I was following your tweets yesterday, and I think you were a little surprised by that as well. What did you think when Mike Wilbon came out and took that stance?
I was surprised, but again, Mike was involved.
True.
In the LeBron decision on ESPN. And so, as I thought about it, I was like, maybe going with the Dan Gilbert distraction and making that the story is better than having the story be about ESPN and its role in the mistake LeBron made. And so, I haven't talked to Mike. I have a lot of respect for Mike. I was shocked by his defense of the Jesse Jackson. They're both from Chicago, so I would imagine Jesse and Mike know each other well, and so maybe it's two friends supporting each other.
That's a good point. And I did want to ask you, when we compare this to Tiger Woods, and as far as the fans maybe coming back on board, because it seems like a lot of people jumped off the LeBron James bandwagon after all this that has taken place. When you compare those two guys, how do they compare as we move forward, and do you see either one of them maybe gaining a big fan base back?
Well, I do think there's a comparison in terms of you get lost in this celebrity and lost in this fame, and also you don't know who you are, or the person that you were changes, and that's what I think has happened to both Tiger and LeBron. I think it's an easier recovery for LeBron, because all he really needs to do, if today he held a press conference and said, you know what, I handled my exit completely the wrong way, and I want to apologize for that. I want to make sure that people in Ohio know that I appreciate them and the support they gave me. I think most people around the country move on and get over it. People in Ohio will appreciate the sentiment, but they're still going to be upset that he left. I think it's an easy fix for LeBron. Tiger has got to start winning golf tournaments again, and that's very difficult. And then he did something that so many people, particularly women, can, just find distasteful and hard to forgive. That Tiger's recovery, I think, is a bit more difficult.
All right. Well, Jason, we really appreciate you coming on. I know you're doing a ton of radio interviews, so thanks so much for spending some time here on SportsYAPP, and I enjoy your articles, and keep up the great work.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks a lot. That's Jason Whitlock from FoxSports.com and also the Kansas City Star, and you can read all of his articles on there and follow him on Twitter. He's always honest. He doesn't seem to have agendas. And I like his candidness, and so I appreciate him taking the time this morning on SportsYAPP. We'll be back right after this.